to come in here and we're going to talk about the full moon. So this is a full moon in Aquarius coming up on the 9th. Some good things to think about too. Hi, Candice.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? I don't think you can see me. Hold on.
I can see you.
Okay. I don't have any place to put technology. Is it still Mercury retrograde?
It's still Mercury retrograde, yes, until Sunday. So until the 10th.
Until the 10th.
Well, technically Sunday too. And then we just need to wait a couple days, after. So I'd wait until Monday or Tuesday. You'll probably feel a little less, wonky. So,
yeah. Okay.
So hello.
Hi. Well, thank you for inviting me. This is exciting. This is our first time doing Secrets of the Moon.
It looks like, yes, I know. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's our first time doing Secrets of the Moon on Instagram Live, so it'll be good. I got my glasses on so I can see you. This is real people. We're real people. Not actors.
So did you want to get started?
Yeah. So the moon is going to be full August 9th. Is that correct?
Yes. And we're in Aquarius, but the season's Leo. So we don't want to forget about Leo. Still want to use that creative time.
Yeah. And Leo is all about, I think of the lion, right? That's the image that we get with the season of Leo. And it is flowing through our creative juices. Can you remind us a little bit about the creativity power or what Leo represents in our lives?
Yeah, so Leo is more comfortable on stage in front of people, but not all of us are, right? There's a lot of us that have that introverted part. So it may actually help you to get up on stage with something. It doesn't mean you literally get in front of people. This could be a great time for you to work on something like social media, doing a video post like this, right? This is a little uncomfortable for us doing it live. So that's more Leo energy. But when you combine it with the opposition Aquarius is more technology. It's very intellectual. It's outside the box. So you could probably balance or incorporate both aspects, because Leo might be more like from the heart. It's very warm. It's like sitting around the campfire and playing a musical instrument, where Aquarius is like something like this, video chatting, like technology. So maybe think, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, so using that technology, that forward, leading edge Aquarian energy, but with love. Right? With the heart, with your passions.
Gosh, this is really challenging, I would say. A lot of us can be in our head, especially when we're trying to communicate, and then we forget we got to come from the heart. This is another human being that we're talking to, right? It's not just like, but this, and listen to my side. This is the logic of it, and I feel like that's been coming up, that energy, personally for me. So I don't know about, for you. But when we're in our head and we're trying to communicate, and forgetting about that Leo part, definitely some things can happen where, some conflict, challenges, misunderstandings.
Right. And what's great is that we're learning as humans, I think, in this time, especially those that are watching the show that know there's more to life than just like a 9-to-5 sort of mental aspect. When we connect with our heart, when we bring the head and we ask the mind and the ego to join the heart, and whatever we do, whatever we say, and whatever we feel, we develop a frequency of heart coherence. And this moon is really supporting more of that, more of a heart coherence where we bring the mind and the heart together, not like sibling rivalry, but as partners to move forward.
Yeah, that's a big lesson. I feel like are the age of Aquarius, right? I feel like we're definitely in this technology, social media time, and we're moving away from just the rawness of art and creativity and connecting with people physically, in the same room with them physically. So I feel like we need to make sure that we're, like you said, balancing the two. Even on Zoom calls, we can still connect. We can find a way to connect and not be just in our heads.
Right. And find time for that personal touch. I listen, a little side note here, personal experience. I listen to my husband's Zoom meetings sometimes. And he's in the meetings with mostly women. And I can hear them like have little, oh, my kid's first day of school, like little talks in that. And my husband just stays quiet. And I say, I'm like, I understand you're just listening and you're there for business, but are you going to say hi? Like, tell them about your kid's first day, bringing that personal heart into the technology, because we're human beings first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe that's a good way to connect over Zoom.
I like it when I can just throw him under the bus and these
yeah
videos. He watches it and then he'll roll his eyes at me. I'm like, what? I'm just sharing from the heart.
Yeah, and I think this is part of full moon or new moon or eclipse is really observing your environment, what's going on around you, and you can learn from that, if you're paying attention or listening, not just from your own personal thoughts or experience, but also your loved ones around you will show you, what's going on with this energy, because they're probably feeling it too. They just don't even, they're not putting it together and going, oh, this is the Aquarius full moon. Right? So we're just watching them like spectators, this is an experiment. What are they doing?
Yeah.
How does it relate to this? I do want to bring up like a big one that I feel like if you are struggling right now, we do have Saturn opposing Mars, and this is like a pressure cooker. So some of us grew up with pressure, or like an Instapot. That's what we're using now, right? Okay, Instapot. There is a little release valve, that the steam comes out, especially at the end of the Instapot time. So to help us to deal with this feeling, if we're feeling frustrated, we're feeling angry, or we're feeling like, why isn't it happening now? Find ways to let a little bit of that steam out, whatever that is for you that helps you to work through your feelings. You may need to talk it out, and there might be some uncomfortable sharing moments, right? But it's not about going to war and being like, blah, exploding. We don't want that Instapot to explode. So I know some of us are going to be feeling that for sure. Some of us might be benefiting from this positive conjunction. It's Venus and Jupiter in the sky. So if you have your natal chart, wherever you have a lot of Cancer, to the sign of Cancer. So it's right kind of in the middle of that orbit in Cancer. Mine is in the 6th house of health. And I've definitely been noticing that my health has improved. And I've also found other people to help assist me and giving me opportunities to work on my health. So that's just an example, right? So maybe this is the house. What's yours? Do you know?
Yeah, so I have Cancer in both my 9th and my 8th house.
Okay, so this would be around 10 or 13 degrees.
So I have Cancer at 4 degrees in my 8th house and Cancer at 20 degrees in my 9th house.
So it would be in the 8th house. Okay, so this might give you opportunities when it pertains to shared resources. So what you share with your spouse, or for people that aren't married, maybe a roommate or the bank, taxes. It can help with even inheritance. 8th house is like filled with different things too, like deeper psychological things, sexuality, death. Not, Jupiter being positive with death. I don't know how that would be. Maybe looking at our mortality. But maybe Jupiter will help assist us in that area. So your 8th house has a lot of things. Have you noticed anything in particular getting better or easier?
Yeah, so we are selling a house, which is a shared resource between my partner and I, and everything's going to plan. There was a little hiccup with like our solar panel transfer stuff, but I actually this morning there was a larger hiccup with communication. And again, Mercury retrograde, there was one letter wrong in the buyer's email address. So nothing was getting through. And it was about a total of 3 hours on hold for my partner who was handling it. And I got that heart coherence. I asked my mind to come down into my heart and really sent Tesla, who owns our panel, to my husband because there was a break in communication. So this morning I specifically did a little meditation, imagining like shoelaces of light to tie my husband with someone who could help him with Tesla customer service because he had already been on hold over 2 days for a total of like 90 minutes. And and as soon as I did that and put my intention to generate light for that area of communication, he called me back in like 15 minutes saying that he got a hold of someone and the person could help him and fix the situation so we could close on our house. And I was like, yay, it worked. It's the power of that Jupiter energy, and then plus just the energetics of what we're going through right now with the conjunction and a lot of the other planetary influences and solar influences that we're having. It's definitely a time where things can manifest in a positive outcome, the highest positive outcome for our lives. So don't be like, it is a miracle that things like that happen, but don't be surprised when it does happen in your life, because I'm hearing from more and more people that positive things are happening for them in their life.
We need those things. Yeah, we need some good things. So kind of going back to that pressure cooker, say that's not what you're feeling right now. We can still use this as a time to start planning. It's Mercury retrograde. You don't have to start anything yet, but just maybe put it out all on paper, reflect, decide what you want to do in the future. So just take those slow, steady steps and just sit with it a little bit too, right? If it's not moving the way you want it to, it's okay right now. And then don't forget, we have a new moon in Virgo coming up at the end of the month on the 22nd. And Virgo is going to be a really useful tool to get something done. Also, it's a new moon, so it's a start to something. So if you can hold out, if you can be patient in the next few weeks.
Yeah, before you take on maybe a new project. And like you said, it's planning stages right now for this full moon. And what I love about how the energy of the environment is supporting that, or maybe it's the astrology supporting the energy of the environment, they're commingled. But for now, for like our Lionsgate portal and then the 8-9 astrological alignments that are happening and which you spoke of, it's a good time to have courage to live your life with your authentic passion. And it's kind of cliche to say follow your passion, but really the truth about it is that now we have so much support from the environment that we're living, even though the news may show something different. There's a lot of solar energy that's coming in from the sun right now. And with this age of Aquarius, we can kind of use these supports as scaffolds to a higher vibration, a more life-filled, love-filled life that we're living day to day. And so I just encourage everybody to think about what you may have had fear to do in the past that maybe you thought you shouldn't do because of the roles you play or the job you have or whatever sort of beliefs that you have occurred in your mind about yourself. Now's the time to really look at them and plan accordingly to your courage. Like, what is something that you've always maybe wanted to do or a trip you kind of wanted to take. Plan that. You know, it, as you say, moving into the new moon or Virgo, that might be the window of which you go. But now is a time to think about what is something that you've always wanted to do, to become, to have, to strive for, or your goals. And use the Leo energy to give you courage to step forward and plan that path for you.
I love that, to remember that. Yeah, the courage, like somewhere deep and down inside, we understand that this is possible. You know,
Right.
or maybe even being around people that could help encourage you to find that courage.
Yeah. And in my own life, I can share an example because it can be hard, right? So, you know, I started a new position, which is basically commission based in a way regarding this new app that I'm contracted for. And it's something that I've always really wanted to do, to share the ability that I have to write meditations and record meditations. But it's also a little scary because it's not consistent income. And I pass by Yavapai College near my house every day after I take my kid to school. And I thought, I turned down a job there, a very secure, stable, paying job, which was also something that I thought would be fun, that I know I could do and would enjoy. But I chose something different. You know, I kind of stepped into my courage to do something else. And it kind of takes, what was it that you said the other day? It doesn't take balls, it takes ovaries to do something like that. So, you know, here's your call to all the women watching and the men too, you know, tapping into that divine feminine nature and, you know, have the big ovaries to do what you want to do with your life.
Well said.
That's my experience.
Yes.
Ovaries are like sacred tatas. So get it done, right, Jules? Yeah, just
Yes. It's powerful.
It is powerful. Okay. Anything else you want to add about what's coming up or what is now?
I was just looking at my notes. I feel like we got to it. Yeah, put your ideas out there. Help. You know, this time is to transform ideas, listen. You know, work with the energy. The mystical artist is conjunct the moon. Did I say that already, Pallas Athena?
No, you did talk about art a little bit, but you want to expand on that?
Yeah, so Pallas Athena is an asteroid in the sky. So in mythology, she represents the artist, but more of a mystical, magical representation of the artist. So just fusing that energy with the Aquarius, I could see like more outside the box artistic endeavors. And art doesn't necessarily mean painting and drawing. So you can, you know, there's astrologers are artists, right? So maybe think, you know, how am I an artist? How am I creative? Not the traditional way, and maybe tap into that. So some of us might have a modality that we resonate with.
Absolutely. I was just thinking that it's funny, right before the call, I passed by my little art studio that I have, and I thought, you know, I want to create art today, but it doesn't have to be a painting. That could be a meal, you know, because I got something in the crock pot. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make carrots a certain way, and that could be my form of art.
Yeah, food is definitely a good art, like, especially if you have Taurus in your chart.
I do. Yeah. And it's funny. I love it when people cook for me. With all, like, I do a lot of Taurus. It's my moon. But I do love to eat, and I do love fancy things. But I would rather have somebody cook me something fancy. But today, I'm going to be doing it myself. So.
Yeah. Even though you like cooking, you need to be taken care of as well. You know, so somebody out there can make you a meal.
Yeah. All right. Well, I encourage everyone out there to connect their head space with their heart space and make a plan with courage for living your most authentic life. And Juliana is an amazing astrologer, so if you want to know, I said I could show this up, if you want to have one of these, that you can refer to with your chart information and learn how to read your chart so you know how the moon is affecting you, please contact Juliana, of course. She's hosting this at Moon Diva Astrology. And if you need any energetic support or energetic clearing to move forward in your life, please see me at risingfromwithin.me or find my Instagram at RFW Healing.
All right, bye guys.
Okay. Oh yes, we're back. Have a good day.